Hello, my friends. This is second part of my lesson, which is we'll talk about conditionals. So it will be about nested conditionals, which is in this lesson you learn all important points about conditionals. By the way, why we need to learn it? Because we are not using always the operators, which is mean like let's say the syntax is like or and not. So in some cases we should understand logic gates. This is very important. Like okay, I believe you know about and or not. Maybe you didn't know, so you learn with me. But in this case, let's say you know about and, but what does mean and in logical gates? So you will learn with me that things, okay? In nested conditionals, which is when you put all the conditionals, the nested point, which is into in, so then you will understand how to do it, okay? Let's start with the first part. In this lesson, exactly, we will make some practice. It will be part two for the conditionals. So we'll make practice with the projects like is a bit projects, and you will understand correctly what is meant. Okay, let's start it. So, computer programs use conditionals to select the correct path for a program to go down. When a program only selects one of two paths, so it can use a simple conditionals, which means if else. When a program selects one of many paths, so it can use nested or chained conditionals, which is chained means you're using and. Like let's say if condition 1 and condition 2 and condition 3, it means like it is chained. Like we can say if condition 1, then we can go inside if and we can put another if condition 2 and we can go inside it. It means like it will be and. So if we want to do it, or we have to put in the same desk, and if you want to do not, it will be else. Anyway, I don't want to like mix your brain, so I don't want to like blow your mind. So let's start it, okay? So nested conditionals, right? Let's start in this point. So let me start from here. All right. Okay. Imagine a program that reports whether a number is positive, negative, or zero. That program needs to select from three paths. So in this case, we have three conditions, which is if it is like greater than zero, it will be positive. If it's less than zero, it will be negative. But if it is zero, we have to say what? We have to say for it, this is nether, right? Okay, how we could do it? We know about if condition one is true that and else this. But what if we put there else if? Like, yep. Okay, let's start it. The flow chart for the logic could look like this. Like what? Let's check it. What is mean? What we doing here? Okay, so I will try to explain you with the my pencil. I will get my pencil here. Okay, in this case, it's asking like that. It's saying if what? If is number larger than zero, if any number, let's say this is number and this is our variable, is larger, which means greater, so it will the operator will be like that, right? Yep. So if it is greater than zero, if our number variable greater than zero, and if true, it will be positive. So in this case, our instruction in here will be what? Positive, right? So, okay, else we know this is negative, but we need one more option. We need one more conditions. Okay, in this case, we'll say this is positive, false, which means false is else, right? Let's say this is else, and let's say if like that, this is positive. If else, so sorry, else in this case, let's put here. All right. Else what will be here? So in this case, I will not put any instruction here because we have to change. Like what? So if it is greater than zero, we know that's positive, right? But how we can do it for false situation? Like in this case, the flow chart will continue from here, which is false. We need to put inside false, like inside else, another if, right? Because if you put only instruction, it will be just negative, but we need one more possibility, which is about neutral. Okay, in this case, I will come here and I will say again, if, right? So, and after that, if its sang is number smaller than zero, in this case, we will look for the negative side, right? Okay, if we will say if our variable, which is in this case the number, so let's say some user will put their number. So I will show you in a program. It's you will understand correctly. Now we will say less than zero, right? Okay, less than zero. The instruction will be what? The negative, right? If it is true, the instruction will be what? Negative. Okay, so in here it will be positive, right? In here it will be negative, but in else if situation, because I told you if we put only else, we have to put there negative. Like, let's say if we delete this, only we can put here negative, but where is the nether? How we can put nether? We couldn't put there another else, right? For that, what we have to do, we have to say like else, and after that it will be chained conditionals, right? So if it will go inside it, and I will say this is negative, our instruction will be here negative. And the last point, in this desk, not in here, look, not here, just in here, we will put another else, right? This is chained conditionals. We could continue, by the way, lots of conditions possibility. But in this case, we have three options because some number can be greater than zero or less than zero, the equals to zero, right? Okay, we will say false, so which means else, sorry. We will say else, let's say else. And after that, what will happen here? If else, it will be neutral, right? Okay, we did. So what happened here? Let me explain you like fastly. So we said if number greater than zero, which is number larger than zero in here, it means corresponding to here, right? All right. So this is same thing, right? We know. Okay. If it is true, it will the true corresponding to, I mean positive, I mean instruction, right? Because if we talking about true, the this means it will be logically equals to where? It will be here, right? Instruction side. So here. If we say else, which means it will be false. Okay, in this way, the else mean corresponding to false, right? So where, which means it's equals to this one. And again, another if this point, like less than zero, we're talking about here, right? That's perfect. We're going together with our amazing flowchart, right? Okay, in this case, it will be equal to here. And if it is true with it, we will say negative, which means with it together, right? It will be here in this case. So this one, perfect. And the last one, if it is not true, then else if like that, it is negative. Else, the last one, so will be false, this one, and take it here. All right. So it's equals to that one, and the sign is neutral. The about another instruction, it will be equals to our last instruction neutral. So I just maybe I just made little mixed, so I didn't know. Like I hope you understood it. It is really easy, okay? Don't worry about that, please. So I will come here and I will try to show you what means. Okay, so in this case, just don't look here. Just I will say number checker. Let's say for ID number checker. That's perfect. So right, let's come here in a script. What we will do here, we will do something else. Like what? We'll say variable number. Okay, in this case. So we can say prompt because we have to put there some number. Please enter your number, right? Let's put it there and come back down. And in here we will say if our number, right? We are now in JavaScript. So we are writing in JavaScript. I will do it also in Python. But let's start in here. So we'll say if number greater than, which means we are talking about here, right? Is larger than zero. If number larger than zero, let's say var positive. This is our variable name, like I showed you before. So we'll say what? We'll say in here what, First, so for example, I'll show you like what I'm doing. You'll understand correctly. Document dot get element by ID, and after that let's put our ID name, number checker, right? In this case, number, let's check it in here, number checker. Perfect. Number checker, and come here inner HTML because it will be inside that. And okay, what we have to do here, amazing way, var text positive, right? Let's do it like that. We can say positive number, and after that we can put our number variable in here too. How we can do it? We can say positive number, and after that we can say number, right? So how we can do it? Let's do it like that. Perfect. Okay, in this case, we will put our text part, like positive, I mean, in here. After that, I don't need to put any print. I believe it will show us there. So I'm in console.log. Okay, we did. So now what we have to do, please put semicolon here, it is important. We will say else. But if you put else, we will not put there only negative, right? So like instruction point not. So instruction will not be word, text, negative, anything else. In this case, we'll make the nested like chain of conditions. We will open it and we will say in like here, right? If true, it will make it positive. So it will display out here. It will display out this one, right? Else, else which means false. And again, if we say if true, right? If it will go like by the way like that, we will look for negative point, right? We'll say if number. All right, sorry, this is reverse. Number less than zero. Wow. Okay, in this case it will be negative, right? Let's don't write lots of code in this case. Let's come here and tag it there. Bam, put there. And okay, let's add it there. And you will see this is negative number, right? Negative number, and our number variable will be there again because the user will input there some number, right? Okay, in this case we can say text negative. Text negative, our variable name also will change and we'll say negative for that. Okay, the last one, I told you don't put else here. You can do it, but it is not mainly in this case. We will put our else in here because we are looking for this point. We are not looking for here, okay? So by the way, for all. We are looking only for else if inside else if point. We will say else. Like it means if something else like that, do instructions, else if, do another instructions, else after else if, the last instructions, okay? In this case, we'll put here else and after that open it. What we will do, so by the way, tag it out, come here back, put it there. We will say it will be another, right? Text. We'll say text another. And we can say another. And in here we can say text another. Okay, so with that, now in prompt it will ask us about it. Let's do it. What will happen exactly in our page? Come here. The first number we have to put there, but it it didn't ask any question, right? It's saying another number. So let's come here back. In here, it have to ask us this one. So, but it didn't ask anything else. So why? Let me check it in a minute. Okay, let's do it again. There, right. Okay, in this case, let's start with the positive number. Try to check it if it works. Let's say 4. What will happen? Positive number 4. It works. I mean, which conditions in here, right? In our number. So, which means it works in here, our number and positive number. So, the second one, let's try for second one. What will happen? In this case, we'll check for the negative, right? Because we check our number greater than 0, what will happen? It will be positive. Let's do it minus 5 because it's less than 0. Negative number minus 5. Did you see that? So the second conditions work, which is else if condition works in here, but we doing it chain it conditional. So it is negative number and our number here, and we display it out. So the last one. Now I will show you the last one will be 0, right? Because we are looking for what? For the another. So because we have some number greater, so the number is greater than 0, it will be positive. Less than 0, it will be negative. If it is equals to 0, in this case I put 0. Let's enter it. It will say another number. Okay, I believe you understood it, right? In Python, so will the same operation and how it works. Let's check together. So, okay, let's say number, and after that come here and say input. Okay, in input, let's say please enter your number. Okay, now we will check our number, what will happen. If number greater than 0, so not less, greater than 0, let's do instruction. What kind of instruction we have to do? We will say positive and equals this is positive number. After that, okay, don't think about it right now. This is some method, we adding it there, and after that we'll say number. I will put our variable number there, and in this case let's say print and positive. So let's display positive. Come here and say else, which is we doing same stuff. We will say else, and after that we'll go inside if again, and we will say if number, right? If number less than 0, it will be negative, right? In this case we'll say negative and equals this is a negative number, and after that it will put here, and we'll say format. Come here, we'll put again our number there, our variable number, because we are looking for user enter, user input. Okay, in this case we'll say print, and we are looking for negative. So please learn about variables. Variables are much important. Okay, in this case we'll not go for right here else because it will not work. We are working on chain and conditionals, I mean nested conditionals. Let's come here for this task, and do it, else the last condition will be what? Another, right? If they are not work, then it is equals to 0. It means, right? This is another number, and after that put number there and say format. After that put number there and come here. Let's say print and say nota. And let's go back to the here. Say print. Okay. What do you think? It will work nice or not? Okay. In this case, oh, I don't want to work here. Let's come back to the here and run it. Now our terminal will work for about Python. It will show us. Okay. It asks, please enter your number. I will enter 4. Okay. What it will say? Let's check it. Oh, it's saying this is string integer. Okay. In this case, what we can do, we'll say input, and after that, we will say, all right, let's come here. I think we can put it in integer in here, but I don't believe maybe it will not work. So, all right, let's don't do it again. I don't want to enter any number for JavaScript point. So let's run it. What will happen? All right, input integer. Oh, input. So right here, please delete it. Right. All right. All right. Let's go back to the here. Run. What it's saying. Please enter your number integer. All right. I believe it will not work in here. Maybe. Uh, I will try one more thing. I don't remember now. Good about it. Let's say integer. After that, put it here. It will work or not. Let's go back to here. And okay, let's do it. Okay, it says number. Let's say 4. This is positive number 4. Oh, that's good. We need to run again. And let's say minus 4. This is negative number. Did you see it? Let's come here and say 0. It will say this is another number 0. We can put all these guys into while. True, but don't think about while now, okay? Just I'm showing you what this guy is doing, so it is making easier or something, like to don't write lots of code. Okay, in this case, tag this guy's there, and this guy's there. All right, and this guy's will be there. Else if our if number it's that, come on. Else will be that, positive will be also there. Okay, it will work. Now it will ask, by the way, all the time this question, but if we work like that, what it will be, it will go again here, I know. If we run it right now, what will happen? So if we didn't tag it inside while loop, it will work forever. So this place will work forever. Let's try it. So if I say 5, it will say this is possible, like lots of time. What we have to do by the way, like if you're working also like me in same place, let's do Control C to stop this loop. In this case, we have to get this variable. I mean, we are tagging information. So let's put inside our loop. All right. No. Okay. Now let's run it. What will happen? Let's put 4 positive number, minus 3 minus 4 negative number, 0. It will ask all the way again and again, again and again. It will continue forever like that, and it is very nice. By the way, I told you just know about if conditionals. Don't think about now while true or something else, because you will learn with me all these things step by step. Okay, don't worry about that. That's another point. I would like to make it like that. And for the script part, I would like to make it also like it. All right, let's calm down. We will work a little bit here. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about places. Bam. Okay, that's good. We did same job in here and there. All right. So let's save the page, and everything will be clear here. Okay. So let's go to lesson Figma. I mean, come back to here. Come down a little bit. So we can translate that into JavaScript using nested conditionals. Here's the equivalent. I did same job. You saw, right? We did this into our program step by step. We learned how to do it, right? Bam. We solved it. We understood. Let's do practice after lesson again and again to understand correctly. So it's saying our other conditionals is simple if else corresponding to the top diamond if the flowchart. So in the flowchart, then inside the else we nest an inner conditional I told you corresponding to the second diamond in the flowchart. So in text-based languages like JavaScript, it's important to pay attention to the syntax and formatting of your nested conditionals. Notice how I use curly brackets around every set of instructions to indent the inner conditionals inside the else. That helps other programmers including future me. So better understanding the flow of the logic, I will explain you all logic gates and you'll understand correctly everything. Maybe it mixed your brain right now, but you'll understand everything correctly. The program below compares the scores of the players to determine who has won, lost, or tied. Try changing the values around that each player wins. Okay, we can use VS Code again for it. Let's come down. Okay, our project now will be that. This one. In here, if the player one win, so we'll do player one win. So with the logical gates, we'll show it. So with the nested conditions, we have again three score. So three-way to explain it. If player one win, we will say player one win. The second one, the player two is if player two score is greater than player one score, we'll say player two win. If they are equals to each other, our their score, and we'll say it is a tie. This is again three possibility, and we will look in the future for five, six, seven, eight, and more conditions. Okay. So, okay, we will do it again in JavaScript. Okay, now let's start for the player one and player two, what they did. So, in this case, what we will do, like we will be two-person. So I will put their two input. For the first player, we will put any number. For the second player, we will put another score, and after that, we will compare them. So if the player one win, so if player one score is greater than player two score, we'll say player one win, and else we'll say else if player two score greater than player one score, uh, so by the way, it can be like player one score less than player two score. We can do it like that too. So it will be player two win, one, and the else situation will be their same. Okay, let's do it. Let's come here. Okay, first we'll say variable player one score, right? By the way, I will do it little like that. Player one score like that, and we'll say here what? Okay, we'll say prompt because we need to prompt it out. We'll say please, uh, no please. Let's say player one score, score, and after that we'll come here and we'll say variable player two score, right? All right. We'll say prompt again and we'll come inside it. Let's do it prompt and we'll come inside it and we'll say player two score, and again we'll get information player two score. Now let's start it. We'll say if, by the way, I understood from your side you know how to do it, right? Player one score is greater than player two score, right? And the situation will be what? Player one win, right? We'll say player one win like that. we can say document, but by the way, sorry, we will say player one like that, and we can say text like that. Player one won with this score, and after that we'll put player one score there, right? We could do something else like the like between this, like let's say player one score is 40, player two score is 20. We can say player one win this game like 20 score more than another player two. We can do it too like that, so just we can do some math operations in here. It will be easier, don't worry about that, and let's try it. Do you want to do it? So we can say player one operation. Let's say player one operation. Okay, we can say player one player one score minus player two score. Okay, and after that we can say player one won with this score and score and and between and between what and between, so between this um no between this, let's say player one with, so with yeah, let's put here uh, one, let's say, oh, zero, it's all right, I think all. I'm not sure. So with more uh, score and player one score score is that. Let's do something else like that. Okay. So just we trying to make something else in here. I really creating now these things. All right, we can put like that. It will be mindly. And let's tag it down here. All right. So what we can do with it minus, it will tag it there. Player one. All right. Now let's come here and say else. And all right, what did that? All right. All right. Come here and say if player player one score is less than player two score. In this case, what we will do, we will say in if player two, oh, do it like that, and let's say player two score minus player one score, right? And let's come here and say player two won, and this is our variable name. By the way, I will put there var. I forget it. So let's say player two won with, and after that put it there. All right, key to all. After that say more score and player one score. No, player two score. Player two score is that. All right, it will be mine there, I believe. Player two score. Okay, I think we did true. Put it there too. It will be also here. Okay. So in this case, I would like to put their variable. Also, we can put let 2 or const. Let's say var like that and right here too. Okay. So for the else situation, it will be what? We don't need to write this one again there because they are equals to each other. We will say just var p1 like player 1 and player 2, let's say like that, is same. Okay, and we can say here, all right, player 1 and player 1 score is, let's say, player 1 score, and player 2 score is, let's say, player 2 score, and equal equal to each other, and it is tie, right? This is our another point. So we can say here what? We can say var display var display bump, and we can say document dot get element by id. All right, and we can put the id here. Let's say for id, what we can say for id, not number checker, we can say game. So okay, let's come just for the display out. Okay, game, and say inner html, and after that put p1 and p2. In this case, for here it will be like that. For here it will be like what? It will be p. Oh, so it will be here p21, and in here it will be what? In here it will be p11. Okay, with it all, I believe you understood. And right, let's check in the website what will happen. Go practice. It will be here in a minute. Alright, let's do it. Okay, it asks. Let's check for the first player win side. Like, let's say this is 60 for the player 1 score, and player 2 score is 30. What it will display. It will say player 1 win with 30 more score, and player, oh, we just, yeah, player 1 win with 30 more score. Let's say then 30, then player 2. We can say in here when was 30 more score, then then player 2 and player 1 score is that. Okay, player score, then player player 1 and player score, and player 2 score is that. All right, let's go back to the here. Let's say 60 for player 1 score and 30 player 2 score. It will say player 1 won with 30 more score than player 2, and player 1 score is that 60. In this case, I told you, like, our first player score is 60, our second player, for the player 2 score is 30, and they have 30 between them, between the score, and player 1 is 30 more score than player 32, and the player 1 is win game. So let's look for the player 2, and in this case let's say player 1 is 15 and player 2 is 19. it will say player 2 win with 75 more than player 2, player 1. Alright, let's do player 1 in this case. Alright, so it will be like that. Let's say player 1 is 15 and player 2 is 90. In this case, it will say player 2 won with 75 more than player 1 score, and player 2 score is that 90. It is again logical. And let's check for the last conditions. So we will check here, their score is same. Let's say 45 for the player 1 and for player 2 again 45. It will say player 1 score is 45 and player 2 score is 45 equals to each other, and it is tie. It works. Did you see that? We did our amazing project again. So it is very nice you doing projects like that. So now we will check in Python that situation. So what we will do, let's come here. I'm just teaching you Python and JavaScript at the same time, okay? In the future, you'll deploy your deep learning or machine learning models into web like that. So I just imagine it like imagining like that. So this is my prediction. You will create your models in Python. So deep learning models with TensorFlow, and after that, or PyTorch, and after that you will import it into web, which is true JavaScript. Okay, let's come here. Let's say player one score its input, and after that we'll say player one score. I will be a little bit fast. I think you understood everything. Player two score is again say input, and put here player two score. All right. Let's come here and say if player one score is greater than player two score. We'll say what? We'll say player one win, and after that we'll say player one win game with, and after that we need some logical things here. Player one like that, and after that we can say player one score minus player two score. All right. After that we'll say what? In this case, let's put it there. Player one win game with this score more than player two, player two, and player one score is this number. Okay, let's say format. Come here and say player one oh and player one win score. Sorry. Come here back and say print player one win. Alright, with that, come here for else situation. I told you again we will put if, and we will say if player one score is less than player two score, we will say player two oh. Alright, in this case we'll say player two score minus player one score. Come here back and we'll say player two win. Come here and say player two win. Let's say one. It's better explain. One game with again our P1O will be there. Score more than player one, and player two score is that. And we will say format open it, and we'll say player 2 all and player 2 score, right? The last situation will be else, and just will say player 1 score and player 2 score. We'll say player 1 score is and player 2 score is score is that, and they are equal to each other, and it is tie, right? Come here and right here, let's say print. Alright, by the way, we forgot to put their format. So format and just put player one score and no player two score. Alright, let's come down and say print P1 score and P2. Right, come here again. Come on, put it there and say print player to win. That's nice. And the last one player one is that true. So, what will happen now? Let's run it. Please enter your number. No, we are looking for another thing. So we will check in here. What? Oh, what is wrong here? It's asking something else. We will check it. Don't worry. All right. Player one score and player two score. No, no, no. I'm not asking that. P1. All right. Player one score is 60. Player two score is 30. It will say what? Okay, we are against string and integer level. In this case, what do we will convert it from string to integer. We will do like that. It is easier, right, to do it. We could do it also in here, but don't worry about that. Let's say integer because we will get input from our client or whatever user like that, okay? And after that, let's run it. What will happen in this case? Player 1 score is 60, player 2 score is 30. Player 1 won game with 30 more score than player 2, and player 1 score is 60. Did you see that? It works. Okay, let's come in here again and say that in this case it will be 15 player 1 score, so player 1 will lose game, so the player 2 will be 115. It will say player 2 won with 100 score more than player 1, and player 2 score is 115. So let's say they are equals to each other, which means it is tie. Let's do it again. And bam, let's say 45 45. What it say? Player 1 is not defined. Player 1 is not defined. Where is player 1? So for let's look for the else conditions here. Player 1 score is not here. Player 1. Alright, so this is very good. Sometimes we're doing these mistakes. Alright, let's put it there. Player 1 score is 14, player 2 score is 14. Player 1 score is 45 and player 2 score is 45, and they are equal to each other, and it is tie. Did you see? It works. Amazing. If you want, we can put again into while and it will work forever. Did you know it? So I told you that before, right? It is very nice to do it. Always we could check these situations. That's nice. Let's come back to here. We did this too, right? In JavaScript and in Python. I believe you understood correctly in this lesson. So in this way, how to do it, right? So the second topic will be what? Alternate nesting flows. So in this case, we'll put lots of options, right? Okay, I will separate this lesson into 2 points, like part one and part two in conditionals, because it will be a little long. For that, I would like to stop here and watch the second lesson, which is it will be like conditionals, part two, conditionals part two and part 2.1. The second one will be like this one. I will make this video again. It will be conditionals part 2.2, second lesson. Okay. Thank you very much. Let's see you later alternate nesting flows to understand everything correctly about conditionals. I'm waiting you there.